welcome to the Demo Dive, where I live stream myself digging through Steam's demo tag to sort the trash from the treasure. I'm CB, and I have exactly 1 spoon remaining to me, and I bestow it upon you, because yelling at Otome characters for your amusement feels like a good way to spend my limited resources. No, seriously, typical workday plus errands equals exhausted and ow, so it's just as well that, once again, I have picked a visual novel for the Demo Dive. Then again, these have basically become my niche anyway. After being constantly bumped for either other games or a desperate need to rest, I'm finally getting around to the demo for Blooming Suspicion by Techno Witch Games. This one seems to have the trifecta of romance, solving mysteries, and the supernatural, though that last isn't as overt as we saw in, say, Burn the Midnight Oil. We are apparently the titular, well, dev company titular, anyway, Techno Witch, using our Techno Witchy powers to solve mysteries, possibly up to and including the contents of that cute individual's pants, I don't know. I feel like we're going to have more of that particular quasi-tragedy trope of, I think I might be in love with them, but what if they're the bad guy I'm chasing? Oh no! At least that's where various of the signposts are pointing. Those signposts might be red flags, I don't know. I admit that my current wariness about this game is what they've chosen to prioritize in their list of features. I'm glad we can customize a character, and having a choice of pronouns is great. But I don't think either of those things need to be prioritized as the first thing they mentioned. Before even going into detail about what you'll be doing in the game, there honestly wasn't even as much detail about what you'll be doing in the game as there was about the character customization. And again, while I love customizable characters, I'll suck it up and play a pre-rolled character if the story's good. I did with Cersei the other night, after all. But maybe I'm reading too much into this, even if it is only because Between the Lines is the only way I get much info about this game at all. So I guess the only way to know for sure is to try the demo, I guess. So, sitting comfortably? Good. Then we'll begin. I checked through the preferences and I think we're about to where we ought to be, so new game, let's go. What is a witch detective really? People tend to believe that magic is just something that happens to witches. We wave our cute little magic wands at it, and that's all there is to it. But it's called witchcraft for a reason. As with any craft, it requires great study and practice. It requires you to hone the energy within you and weave it seamlessly into the threads of the universe. Jay, we have to get going. It's nearly 11:30. I sigh and turn from my computer. I'm still not quite sure how to feel about today, truth be told. I'm not used to lying to people, or pretending to be someone else. Robobo? Robobo? What? I call out through the tech frequency for my vacuum when I notice it is no longer at the charging station. What the living hell? I kneel down and peer under the bed. Sure enough, Robobo is hiding there in the farthest corner. Is our cat a Roomba, or is our Roomba a cat? Is there any discernible difference between the two states? Hey, what's wrong? You're going to ask me to clean, aren't you? Well, I don't want to! I thought you liked cleaning. That was before I fell off the ledge and got stuck in the entryway all day while you were in class. I wince. I normally block off that area before asking Robobo to clean, but I'd been in a hurry that day and forgot. I still feel guilty about it. So our Roomba is terrified because we left a trip hazard out. I guess I should be grateful I haven't turned this Robobo into Stabby. I make a show of blocking off the ledge and gesture towards it. You don't have to worry about the ledge, okay? See? It's completely blocked. Robobo edges the tiniest bit closer. But what about the chair? What if I get too close and get stuck under it? Oh my god. My Roomba is C3PO! Jay, if we don't leave now, we're going to be late. And stop being a baby, Robobo. How could you possibly get stuck under that chair? Robobo backs further away at Sagwa's harsh words. And just when I was making progress, I connect to Sagwa, speaking through our familiar bond so that Robobo can't hear. Sagwa, we talked about this. Robobo has already been through a lot. At least attempt to be nice. So this is my witchy power. I can talk to the tech. I mean, I guess? I'm glad I don't have an Alexa on this thing. There's a difference between being kind and babying it. I send Sagwa a look and then turn back to Robobo. Its scuffed appearance and nervous disposition seems to indicate that its previous owners treated it quite harshly. I just want to make sure it's comfortable here. I have a rescue Roomba? Why do I have a rescue Roomba? I know that anthropomorphizing everything is a part of the human condition, but I have what is effectively a cross between an anxiety-riddled rescue kitten and C3PO under my bed. This is we're waiting on the Otome, I guess. Okay. But I also don't want to be late. I'm going to attempt to persuade Robobo. He's never going to learn, I guess. I can't let its anxiety win. What if I move the chair? Would that make you feel better? Robobo inches forward cautiously. And you're sure there's nothing else I'll get stuck under? I promise. I pick up the chair and lay it on top of my bed. Then I rush to put my shoes on, smiling to myself when I hear the hum of Robobo starting to clean. I hope we get a look at this anxiety Roomba. I want to see the anxiety Roomba! They don't even have the decency to show me the anxiety Roomba. That's not fair! I dash toward the bus stop, picking up my pace when I see that the bus is about to pull up. Oh lord. No, if I wanted this, I'd just go outside. Luckily, the bus driver notices me and stops long enough for me to get on. Yeah, that's actually rare. Most of the time, whenever I'm running, or hobbling, more to the point, for a bus in London, the driver looks at me approaching and drives away. Because they be like that. You know, assholes. Thank you. I tap my bus card and find a seat. It's been a few months since I came to Seoul, and I'm still not sure how I feel about it. I miss knowing all the bus drivers and everyone else who lived and worked in my small village. I know I should be grateful for my opportunities here, and I am, but I guess I'm still a bit homesick. Without being asked, Sagwa starts playing a calming song through my earphones. I smile. Sagwa is my familiar, and also my first ever phone. It's not that people in my village didn't have phones, it's just that my grandma detested technology. She always said it was too noisy, which most people didn't understand. It wasn't until I got older that I realized she, like me, had the affinity for technocraft. Not that she ever used it. Sagwa, will you let me know when my stop is coming up? How did you ever manage without me? I didn't. I just stayed lost all the time. Sagwa lets out a sound that let me know that it is not amused by my joke. Haha, fine, I'll track the map for you. But only because you asked nicely. Thank you. My Roomba has anxiety, and my cell phone is a troll. Really? A few days ago, I called Minji, a family friend from my hometown who used to babysit me when I was little. I thought seeing her might make me a little less homesick. Just like she always did when I was a kid, Minji immediately started coming up with ways to cheer me up. I don't know how she arrived at the conclusion that having me work undercover as a part-timer in her plant shop would be the best idea. I barely know a thing about houseplants. But I have always liked solving puzzles. And figuring out who was behind the strange text messages that her part-timers were receiving did sound pretty fun. So, I'm stalker bait now? Like one of those small mysteries I used to solve back home. Maybe we can go over the case a little? Are you nervous about your first case? More like excited. Okay, let's check the notebook by clicking on it. Case overview. While preparing for the spring festival, everyone working at Minji's plant shop started getting strange messages, except for Minji. They've continued to receive these messages ever since, though none of them know who is sending these messages or why. Minji asked me to figure out what's going on. No clues or questions yet. Okay. Oop. No, return. Yes, how do you shut the thing? Oh, click again. Yes, I did that. Apparently, while preparing for an upcoming plant festival, everyone started getting strange messages. Everyone except Minji. They've continued to receive these messages ever since, though none of them know who is sending the messages or why. I still think it's a bit extreme for me to pretend to work at the shop, but since one of Minji's part-timers recently quit, she needs someone to fill in for a few days anyway. At least until she can find someone better with plants. I unzip my backpack, stuffing my notebook in with some textbooks I'm hoping I'll have time to look at during my break, when I feel something shift in the air around me. Fear flickers in the periphery of my mind, followed by a growing sense of dread. I blink and look around as the bus shudders to a stop at the side of the road. Wait, what? What's going on? The bus driver opens the doors and gestures towards them. Everybody off, please. There's a problem with the bus. You'll have to catch the next one. People grumble and begin moving towards the exits, but I hesitate. The fear I felt just now must have leaked into my mind from the bus itself. Oh dear gods, we are the bus whisperer. Though I don't know much about vehicles, I wonder if I might be able to help. I approach the driver cautiously, all too aware of the stragglers still shuffling off the bus, who are now eyeing me curiously. I might be able to help. I take it this is not this isn't something I have to hide. I'm a techno-witch. Did they just say they're a witch? You have to be shameless to admit such a thing. You get fucked. Shame is for pussies. Actually, no. Shame isn't for anybody. Nobody should have shame except for, like, racists and bigots in general. Bigots in general should have all the shame. And, like, pedophiles. They should die of shame. Like, literally. Because, you know, I can't think of anything bad enough to do to them, so them just dying of shame would be great. Getting off the point. It's not something to be ashamed of. Thank you. They keep talking, but I tune them out. I put my hand on the dashboard to establish a connection. More experienced techno-witches can connect to all tech easily, through intention alone. But, though I sometimes catch glimpses of feeling, I cannot properly connect to unfamiliar tech without establishing physical contact first. The connection clicks into place, and the bus immediately leans into it, its desperation taking over my senses. I'm so glad you're here. I don't know what to do. Can you tell me what's wrong? The bus flies through an explanation, and I quickly realize I am in over my head when I can barely understand the terminology. The bus driver looks at me expectantly. He can't hear what the bus is saying because it's speaking in the tech frequency. Only other tech and those who have studied technocraft can hear it. I'm pretty sure it's not something that can be easily fixed, whatever it is. But I'll also feel bad if I tell the driver to take it to someone if it does end up being something simple. Sagwa, little help here? You can't help me? You want to watch a 40-minute video explaining how buses work? I try not to roll my eyes. What do you think? I'm just trying to help. Just help me figure out what to do with a bus that is broken down. Now playing songs to listen to while your life is breaking down. Okay. Yeah, no. No, Sagwa, no. I have too many AI jokes and they're bottlenecking. I have too many Alexa jokes and they're bottlenecking right around with them. Sagwa, that's not funny. It was pretty funny to me. I sigh. I think I feel a migraine coming on. I turn to the bus driver, deciding to tell him the truth and to apologize for jumping in. But before I can say anything, a charge runs through me, leaving my hair standing on end. What? Another presence has clicked into the tech frequency. What the fuck? My eyes flick to the front of the bus where a motorcycle's pulled up. The rider pulls off their helmet, electric sparks of magic dancing off their blue-tipped hair. You look about 8! You're a babby! The rider approaches, slipping off one of their gloves and reaching an ungloved hand out toward the bus. The bus repeats its problems, somehow even faster this time. Unlike me, the rider doesn't seem at all shaken by this. Whoa there, buddy. You're gonna need to go to the shop for this. They turn to look at the driver. Hey, driver, this isn't something that can get fixed on the street. Everyone should find another ride. I relax a bit, grateful that they showed up. All the remaining passengers get off the bus and I follow suit. But before the rider can put their helmet on and race away, I call out to them. Hey, what you did back there was awesome! I don't know anyone else who practices technocraft, and I don't want the one opportunity I get to meet another techno-witch to slip away. And what you did was irresponsible. Excuse the hell out of me? I could feel you talking to the bus. You shouldn't jump in to help if you don't know what you're doing. You'll just end up causing more problems. A flush spreads across my face, though I can't tell if I'm more angry or embarrassed. I'd go with angry. I didn't know I couldn't help. No, most of the K-pop boys I've seen actually look of age. You know, like 18 plus. This doesn't look 18 plus. This looks like they should not. This looks like those tattoos are those temporary stick-on things. Because they're not old enough to get into a tattoo parlor. At least they tried to help. I'd rather have someone like them try to help me than someone snobby like you. Knowing that Sagwa is more offended than I am gives me some comfort, and I can't help the smile that tugs at my lips. The stranger's eyes widen as they stare at the phone in my hand. My familiar's a bit protective of me. Your familiar? Something seems to light up behind their eyes, and they look at me with a sudden interest. Where are you going? Work? You're actually running late. They nod to their bike. Where is it? I'll give you a ride. My brows pull together. They were just criticizing me and now they want to help? They must read the confusion on my face as an apology for making assumptions. Show them my screen! The stranger steps closer as Sagwa pulls up a map. After a quick glance, they smile. Hop on. For a moment, all I can do is stare. Surely getting on a motorcycle with a stranger is a bad idea, right? I mean, usually, but this is an Otome novel. You're probably fine. I study them a moment longer. I read somewhere that you can tell a great deal about a witch just by studying the sparks of magic that gather around them. I'm not sure if I believe it or not, but I find myself checking anyway. There is something electric about the magic that pulses around them, but upon closer inspection, it doesn't feel like sparks at all. Something much calmer, more controlled, like a river flowing steadily on a clear day. Yeah, fuck it, why not? It may not be the wisest decision, but I feel like I can trust them. That would be great, actually, thank you. They offer me their spare helmet. I used to ride a scooter back in the village to run errands for my grandma. It was a small orange thing that liked to watch birds. We used to park under a big tree and watch the birds fly around at sunset. This bike is nothing like that. It is huge, with shiny metal gleaming in the sunlight. Every detail suggests it is very well maintained. Despite its size, the bike looks elegant and agile. I sent it a little greeting, but received no reply. Victory doesn't talk much. Yet I seem to be able to feel a conversation between Sagwa and Victory. I just can't tap into it. I'll ask Sagwa later. The stranger climbs on first and gestures for me to do the same. Fuck it. Hold on tight. Unsure of where else to hold, I wrap my arms around the stranger's waist. I smile as the bike roars to life and we take off. This is exciting! So all it took to make Sagwa change its mind was the chance to ride a motorcycle? Well, I have to admit, it's pretty fun for me too. Yeah, I've seen him. He does at least look okay, he looks 18. It's the eyes with this one. Those eyes are the eyes of an 8-year-old. Everything else, I'd give you. The eyes, nah. The stranger says something, but I can't hear them through the helmet and the wind. And before you say anything, do you have any idea how many of the people on my Tumblr Dash are into K-pop, like, significantly? I will spend entire weeks where I can scroll for 20 minutes and get nothing but Stray Kids. That's not even counting bands that aren't Stray Kids, because there are those too. What? Suddenly I hear their voice clearly. It reverberates within me. I'm Hanuel. They're talking to me through the tech frequency. The static feeling I had when they connected with the bus comes back, but it's less intense than before, more of a pleasant buzzing across my skin. I never thought to use this frequency to talk to another person. I'm Jay. Nice to meet you. And I'm Sagwa! Hanuel laughs so hard I hear them despite the wind. They compose themselves right afterwards. Sagwa? As in apple? Did you come up with your name, or was it your witch friend over here? I'm right here! Jay came up with it, but I love it, so you'd better not tease them about it. I smile, grateful to Sagwa for sticking up for me again. Sorry, I think it's cute. Also, don't forget that I'm their familiar, not just a friend. Yeah, about that. How long have you been together? A little more than 3 months. And how long have you been practicing technocraft? I've been doing bits and pieces all my life without realizing it, but I actually started practicing it very recently. How recently? A little more than 3 months ago. Hanuel goes silent. I'm worried that maybe I somehow lost the connection, but then they speak again. Do you know how cool that is? Huh? The fact that... Oh, we're here. I take it that there's something about finding a bonding with a familiar at all is a big deal, and bonding with a familiar as your first big act of actual craft is bigger still. So that's okay. That's an it. We pull up next to a plant shop on one of the side streets near Ewa Station. There are many small shops and cafes in this area, and I often meet up with friends here after classes. I'd never visited Minji's shop before, though. I get off the bike and turn to Hanuel. Fuck it. Thank you for saving me back there. Their brows draw together, but I think I see some hint of amusement. Saving you? Since apparently I jumped headfirst into a situation I couldn't handle. I give them a mischievous smile. Thank you for swooping in on your motorcycle to help me. I really enjoyed the ride. They shake their head, a smile tugging at the corners of their lips. Yeah, Victory enjoyed it too. They give their bike a pat and walk into the shop before I can respond. Don't laugh. I'm trying not to, but I only have so much self-control. Oh dear gods. Sagwa's flitty. I have a Flitty and it's an iPhone. Okay. I try to change the subject before Sagwa can make fun of me even further. Why are they going inside anyway? Maybe they want to buy something? I shrug and follow them into the shop. When we enter, Minji is misting plants. She turns when she hears the bell, her eyes widening, and she looks back and forth between Hanuel and me. I pause, confused by her expression. Before I can say anything, she speaks. Welcome, you must be the new part-timer, Jay, right? I smile at her. We're supposed to meet here early to discuss everything beforehand, but I guess we're already pretending. Yes, it's great to meet you. You as well. Do you two know each other? I looked at Hanuel, still not quite sure of what's happening. The bus they were on broke down, and they happened to be coming here too. Two? Hanuel helps us with our equipment sometimes. Oh, I didn't know you worked here. You could have told me. Hanuel gives me a half smile and a shrug before nodding to Minji and heading up the stairs. I wait until Hanuel is out of earshot before turning to Minji. So wait, that was... Minji laughs. Looks like you're already getting a head start on meeting people. Yeah, but I didn't know, so it's not like I got any useful information. Anyway, fill me in. You didn't get to tell me much over the phone. Okay, I have 3 part-timers. Hanuel, Hayun, and Yunsu. Hayun is the only one who works up front at the moment. Hanuel and Yunsu both take care of things upstairs as needed, so they aren't here as often. But a few days ago, we were all here together, getting things ready for the festival, when suddenly everyone's phone started beeping at once. The messages were from an unknown number, and they were just a bunch of symbols that we couldn't make sense of. Stranger still, everyone swears their phone had been in silent mode. I've asked about it since then, and apparently the message haven't stopped. Are they still just symbols? Has anyone sent a message back? Minji shakes her head. I don't know. I can't be sure, but I feel like Technocraft might be involved. Why ask me and not Hanyu? They seem much more experienced than I am. Minji shrugs. They aren't too concerned about it. They said it's most likely a prank. Well, what do you think? Do you think it's something? But you think it's more than just a prank. I'm not sure what it is. I just want to know one way or another who's bothering my workers. Their phones are pinging not just at work, but also during their classes. They're under enough stress already from preparing for the festival. I don't want this to cause even more. Okay, that makes sense, but why do I need to pretend not to know you? I feel like they may be more comfortable telling you things if they don't think you're close to the boss. Plus, you don't want them thinking I gave this job to someone unqualified just because of a personal connection, do you? Isn't that what you did, though? Minji widens her eyes and pretends to be offended. Of course not! I give her a look. Okay, well, only for a few days. I shake my head, smiling at her. Anyway, don't let them get suspicious. She gives me a conspiratorial wink. Okay, let's get to training. Training? For my fake job? You have to at least know the basics. Why am I starting to feel like you roped me into this for free labor? Minji laughs, and I can't help but laugh too. I feel lighter somehow being here with her. Okay, teach me what I need to know. Minji spends a few hours training me, but gets an urgent call and has to leave before my shift ends. You're leaving? You'll be fine. Just don't burn the place down, alright? She ruffles my hair and turns to leave. And you have my number. Call or text if you need anything. Or, better yet, ask Hanyo. She turns to leave, but then turns back. Oh, I almost forgot! She pulls 2 keys out of her pocket and hands them to me. I get 2 keys? No, one is for you and one is for Yunsu. He sometimes comes in late, but he left his key here the other day. I figured if he didn't come by the end of your shift, you'd need a reason to go talk to him. You're more devious than you let on. You know that, right? She gives me one of her signature troublemaking smiles. He does a show at Han River Park most evenings. I'll let him know the new part-timer will bring him his key. I shake my head as the bell dings behind her. I'm grateful when there isn't a sudden rush of customers after she leaves, but I guess it's a pretty quiet shop. It said new clues in the notebook. What's new clues in the notebook? Here we go. Clues. Strange messages began arriving a few days prior from an unknown sender. The messages are made of symbols. Phones pinged in silent mode. Could Technocraft be involved? Sometime later, the jingle of a bell alerts me of the first customer I'll have to handle without Minji's guidance. I offer a small bow. Welcome. The young woman who just entered stops short, her gaze hard and assessing. Fixed in the glare of her intense dark eyes... Why do I have a gothic Barbie? I feel for a moment as if I'm in the wrong place, or perhaps as though she can see right through my fake position here. But that's ridiculous. I take a breath and continue. Is there something in particular you're looking for? She tilts her head at me. Is Minji here? She had to leave for the day. I'm Jay, the new part-timer. She blinks, and her brow furrows a little as she looks away. Ah. Then she shakes her head, and something in her seems to soften. I wasn't aware Minji had hired someone else already. I'm Hayun. Ah, you work here too, right? Yes, I'm a bit early. That's great. I'm a bit lost. Hayun exhales, a sound somewhere between a laugh and a scoff. I hope it's the former. Lost in what way? I search my mind for something to ask. I really only said the last thing to break the ice. Caring for the plants. There's so many plants, and they all have different needs. Is there some sort of schedule I should be following? You don't know how to take care of plants? Uh-oh. No, I mean, I close my mouth for a moment, trying to stop myself from saying something that will further give away my lack of knowledge. I don't know about all of these particular types of plants, and I want to make sure that I'm taking care of them properly. I feel her assessing me as her fingers fiddle with the pendant around her neck. I do things by feel, mostly. I look over her for a moment. The sparks of magic that dance around her remind me at once of lightning. Yet as I stare a moment longer, there's a softer feeling underneath, like fireflies dancing in a moonlit forest. You're a plant witch, aren't you? There's something assessing in her gaze. Yes, I assume that you are not? I flinch a little before I can help it. Does the shop really look that bad under my care? I haven't even been here that long. I'm a techno-witch. I steel myself, prepared to hear one of the rude comments nature witches tend to make about those with an affinity for tech. To my surprise, it doesn't come. Ah, I've always thought that was an interesting specialty. Before I get a chance to respond, however, she moves behind the counter and begins going over procedures with me. It makes me glad that Minji insisted on training. In spite of her somewhat intense demeanor, Hayun is a surprisingly patient teacher. The problem is that I'm not actually here for training, so I spend most of my time trying to figure out a way to bring up the messages she's been receiving. Sagwa, I'm running out of time, but I can't find a good way to bring up the messages. Well, I don't know how you're going to bring it up unless one of you gets a message while you were standing here. Wait. That's actually not a bad idea. What? Hey, Sagwa. Can you pretend to be the anonymous sender and ping my phone? Because I don't want to ping her. That's rude. You want to pretend you're getting the messages now? If it'll get her talking, yeah. Okay, one fake message coming right up. A ping rings out across the store and Hayun snaps to attention. I draw my eyebrows together and reach for my phone. That's strange. I could have sworn it was on silent. Hayun leans close to me and I try not to smile when I notice I've got her attention. Is it from someone you know? No, it's just some random emoji. Hayun doesn't even try to feign disinterest, but stares at my phone intently. I look at her with genuine curiosity. Is something wrong? Hayun stares at the message a bit longer in silence before finally answering. Looks like the same type of message the rest of us have been getting. What type of messages? Hayun hesitates, but then proceeds to tell me about what's been going on. As she speaks, some of that ice she'd put between us earlier melts a bit. It feels almost as if she'd been waiting to talk to someone about this. When did you start receiving these messages? 2 days ago, after closing. And you've been receiving them ever since? Yes, they're sporadic. Sometimes I'll get a lot at once, and sometimes there'll be several hours in between. What sort of messages are they? Does everyone receive the same thing, or are they different? The first few were just punctuation marks and numbers, but now they're mostly emojis. And I'm not too sure if the messages are different, honestly. The others don't like to talk about it. Why not? She shrugs. They think I take things too seriously. Something about her seems to tense up, and I wonder if this is about more than just the messages. Have you ever responded? Yes, I tried to see if I could get whoever it is behind it to talk, but for the most part, the messages remain the same. For the most part. They responded with words only once. What did they say? They said, "I'm sorry." My brows draw together as I try to work this out. Why do this and also apologize? Do you mind if I take a look at the messages? Hayun pulls up the messages before handing her phone to me. I scroll through, but the messages are just as she said they are. She tries to ask who they are, but also, "You asked if they needed help?" Hayun shrugs. I figured whoever's doing this must be going through something. No one would act like this if they were doing okay. I pause over the message she mentioned earlier. "I'm sorry." I hover over it for quite a while before scrolling down further. "Is it okay if I ask your phone about it?" Hayun tilts her head and raises an eyebrow at me curiously. "If you think it might know something, go ahead." I look at her phone in my hands. It's clearly been well taken care of, but it's quite a bit older than Sagwa, which makes me wonder how long it's been with Hayun. I try asking it about the messages, but the phone doesn't know any more than anyone else. I hand her phone back to her, shaking my head, and she sighs. Without the questions to distract us, I notice for the first time how close she's standing. Meh. I back up a little now that we're no longer huddled over a tiny screen. Hayun takes a step back as well. She reaches towards one of the terrariums that line the desk and examines it. With one small gesture, a wayward leaf curls perfectly back into place. A moment later, Hanyul's footsteps sound on the stairs and we both look up. Hanyul and Hayun acknowledge each other with nothing more than a silent nod. This place is full of witches. Are you leaving for the day? Yep, all done. Before they can turn to leave, I blurt out, Hayun told me about the strange messages you guys have been getting. Hayun puts her hands up like she's defending herself. They got one too and asked me about it. Hanyul sighs, looking tired of this conversation already. Whatever you do, don't respond. Giving them attention is only going to make it worse. Hanyul levels a pointed look at Hayun. This might have blown over by now if someone would stop writing back. Hayun glares at Hanyul but says nothing. Any ideas why someone would do this? Do you think there's something they want? Hanyul looks like they're on the verge of losing their patience, but answers anyway. I don't know. Seems like if they wanted something, they'd use words. Unless the whole point is to disrupt our lives. But don't you think... Look, if you want to get dragged into this mess, go for it. But please leave me out of it. I turn to look at Hayun. Why do I feel like we just got lectured? Hayun shakes her head, and I think I see the beginnings of a reluctant smile. Then something on the computer seems to catch her eye. Oh, your shift's already over. Really? That was fast. I guess work goes a lot faster when you have a good teacher. Hayun looks away before I can catch her expression. Well, go ahead and take off for the day. We'll probably be working together tomorrow. Great, see you then. After hearing Minji's scheme this morning, I had texted some friends earlier asking if they wanted to go to Han River Park tonight. Luckily, they agreed. Ever since the weather started getting warmer, we've been talking about going to Han River Park to order chicken and watch the sunset. When we arrive, I'm struck by the beauty of the sky and how it bathes the whole park in a warm orange glow. The atmosphere is that of a warm spring night, with laughter and delighted shrieks occasionally ringing out through the air. Some walk or skate by, while others lounge together on blankets, chatting near tents strung with fairy lights. I want to drink it in forever, but I turn to my friends instead, eager to hear what they want to do first. Hey, what's going on over there? I follow Duna's gaze to an area where a large crowd is gathered. Let's find out! A buzz tingles through the air as we approach the crowd, one that you don't have to be a witch to feel. I stand on my tiptoes to try to catch a glimpse of whomever or whatever has drawn so many people's attention, but I can barely see anything. Which makes sense. I'm not hugely short, but I'm not exactly tall either, so I guess my avatar here isn't either. We wriggle our way through the crowd until we finally manage to get a clear view of what's going on. Ah. Elementalist. Dude, what are you wearing? If this goes to a Dance of the Seven Veils place, I'm not interested. There are no words for how much not interested I am in Dance of the Seven Veils by this guy. A tall witch with bleached blonde hair stands before the crowd. A sheer mask covers half his face and neck, and his hands are poised for graceful movement. The mischief of his smile is offset by a gentle serenity in his eyes. The orange glow of the sun illuminates the telltale sparkles of magic shimmering around his hair. His gestures are bold and theatrical, yet his magic dances around him gently, like waves lapping at a calm, deep sea. So, here's my question. Is this Minji woman just like a witch magnet? Because I know that this is the dude. Because he was supposed to be performing at this park. And this Minji has a nature witch, an elemental witch, and a techno witch, all working for her in her shop. Is she starting a collection? If so, why? Is that Yunsu from school? It's only then that I recognize him. Oh, of course I know him. Everyone does. He is the type of person whose presence you can't help but notice. It's almost like there's a magnetic field around him that draws people in. He's always smiling whenever I see him, and he's always in the front row at every school event, cheering along with the crowd. Sagwa speaks in time with my thoughts. Wait, Plant Shop Yunsu, is that Yunsu? Apparently so. Sagwa buzzes with excitement as I let out a breath. Taejun looks at me, concern flickering through his eyes. Something wrong? I nod to the witch in front of us. That's what I'm supposed to give the key to. Duna's eyes widen. What? I twirl the key between my fingers, but before I can process all this, a movement starts on the surface of the Han River. Small water droplets begin to rise above it. In the slant of the evening sun, the droplets twinkle like stars. The tiniest gesture from Yunsu has them flying from the river to surround the crowd. They dance in time to the playful music that drifts through the air from Yunsu's portable speaker. The oohs and ahs of the crowd turn into gasps when water in the shape of a dolphin jumps out of the river and soars through the sky before diving back in. A couple of other water dolphins follow, their jumps synchronized. The droplets around us reconfigure themselves into jellyfish that dance in the sky while a shark's fin comes and goes. It's like a ballet performed by sea creatures. In the midst of all this, a huge orca surfaces from the water. Whale sounds play from the speaker as the orca seems to salute the crowd. Hey look, Smeagol, we got sea bitches! Made of water. Water elemental sea bitches! Must tell Indira about this. All of us wave at the orca, and the water that has been dancing around us turns into fireworks and falls down into the river. Oh my gods, you colossal fucking show-off. In the space of a breath, the surface of the river has returned to normal, as if it hasn't just been home to some of the most beautiful witchcraft ever. My breath is still caught in the wonder of it, and judging by their silence, I think the rest of the crowd feels it too. I've never seen anything so beautiful. Yunsu flashes the crowd one last time and bows. The trance broken, we all applaud. Sagwa is the first to speak. Okay, let's go meet him! I laugh, prompting looks from both Duna and Taejun. Well, Sagwa's excited. Are we sure Sagwa's really a phone and not a person trapped in a phone's body? I swear, it gets way too excited about attractive people. I can't help but laugh as Sagwa sends me a general feeling of annoyance. What? He's got a point. Well, at least he admitted Yun-Su is attractive. I roll my eyes at Sagwa and direct my attention once more to the matter at hand. Maybe we can wait until the crowd disperses so I can talk to him. I don't think that'll happen anytime soon. People are already lined up to take selfies with him. Duna is right, the line is already pretty long. I think you can go straight to him and give him the key. It's for his job, after all. Duna's phone lights up and she checks it. The delivery driver's almost here. We need to go meet him to get the chicken. Why don't you guys do that and find a place to sit? I'll deal with this and meet with you later. After they rush off, I try to mentally calculate how long it will take for Yun-Su to get through the line of people waiting to talk to him. You can't really be considering waiting in that line. Taejun is right that I could just walk up and give him the key, but I wanted to get a chance to ask him about the messages as well. And since I'm not planning on straight up interrogating him about it, it's probably going to take a while. You just don't want to admit you're nervous. I am not nervous. That person is nervous. To prove my point, I nod in the direction of one of the people waiting. They keep tapping their foot and looking around. Even from here I can see the frayed edges of their sweater where they keep picking at the sleeves. Someone with a crush on Yun-Su, probably. What if I tell him I have the key and then ask to talk to him once he's done, about work stuff? Yeah, that doesn't sound suspicious at all. I'll just tell him Minji wanted me to ask him about something, and then while I'm waiting, I'll call Minji and have her tell me what to ask. That actually might work. I head towards him, ignoring the disapproving looks being thrown in my way for not waiting my turn. Yun-Su is taking a selfie with two girls. As he gives the phone back to one of them, he notices me. Hi, I'm Jay. I think we work together now? His eyes light up with recognition. Jay, yes! I got a text from Minji that said you'd be here. Yeah, it would seem you misplaced this. I hold the key between my fingers, letting the orca keychain dangle before placing it into his outstretched palm. He gives me one of his signature smiles and winks at me as his fingers close around the key. Yeah, I don't like this one. I don't like it when they're too obvious. It's a thing. Thank you. Don't mention it. I open my mouth to spin my story about Minji, but after a quick glance at the line, Yun-Su speaks first. Would you mind waiting for 5 minutes? I want to ask you something. Well, that's lucky. At least, I think it is. I walk toward the river after agreeing, still keeping Yun-Su in my line of sight. He takes pictures with a few more people before turning to the rest of the line. I'm sorry, I have to go to my part-time job now. Thank you to everyone who stayed here to meet me. If I wasn't able to meet with you today, don't worry, I'll have another show next week, so let's meet then. Most of the people nod, and a murmur of assent goes through the crowd after one fan declares she will definitely be back next week. Yun-Su turns and begins packing up his bag, which I assume has whatever personal effects he needs for his show. I can't help but look to the nervous person from before, a slight sad feeling taking over as I realize they didn't get the chance that they'd anxiously waited for. They remain behind after the crowd disperses, looking off into the distance and worrying the frayed edge of their sleeve even more. Next moment, I am distracted by the sight of Yun-Su jogging toward me, his hair bouncing in time with his step. Sorry to make you wait. No worries. What was it you wanted to talk to me about? Minji mentioned that you're a techno-witch? Well, this is taking a turn I didn't expect. Sort of. I have the affinity for it, but I just started training a couple of months ago. That's good enough for me. I've been thinking about adding some technocraft to my routine, and I could really use some help. It wouldn't be anything too complicated, so I'm sure we could figure it out together. I definitely didn't see that coming, but I can't deny that the thought of being a part of that magical experience is quite compelling. Plus, if Yun-Su doesn't usually come to the shop during my normal hours, it would be a good chance to get some extra time to talk to him. Yeah, why not? Really? That'd be amazing. Great! I usually have a tight schedule with school, the magic show, and the plant shop, so it can be difficult to arrange a meeting with someone. But since we're working in the same shop, we should be able to meet quite easily. Oh, right. Well, since I can't exactly tell him I don't plan on working at the shop much longer, I just nod and smile. I'm always looking for new opportunities to hone my skills, so you can count me in. But if something goes wrong and you get zapped, don't say I didn't warn you. Well, it'll be an adventure then. I panic when I realize the conversation is coming to an end and reach out to Sagwa through our familiar bond so Yunsu can't hear. Help, he's about to leave. Fake message again? Please. Here, I'll add you on Witchwire. He extends his hand for Sagwa and adds his contact info to my phone, complete with a winking emoji next to his name. Sagwa lets out a little giggle before Yunsu hands it back to me. I type out my message. I note the lack of sound when my message goes through. His phone is definitely on silent. He smiles when he receives it. Thanks, I'll message you about meeting up later. Sounds great. Sagwa, I thought you were supposed to be sending a message. I was a bit distracted. I try not to let my annoyance show in my face. Well, I actually really need to go to the plant shop now, but it was really nice to meet you, Jay. He turns before I hear the ping of the text, and I can almost swear I see him tense up for a moment. But before I can give it too much thought, something else catches my eye. The nervous person from earlier. In a panic, they drop their phone and run. Yunsu doesn't seem to notice as he puts his own phone in his pocket and jogs off toward the subway station, his backpack bobbing up and down with each step. Sagwa, that message just now was from you, right? Yes? Then why are they running? I run toward the phone they dropped, kneeling as I pick it up off the ground. A small crack has formed in one of the corners. It lights up as I press one of the side buttons, prompting me to enter the PIN. I reach through the tech frequency for a connection, but nothing reaches back. Yet I detect a subtle aura of sadness as I looked over the abandoned phone, though whether the sadness is that of the phone itself or from me, I cannot discern. Hey, are you okay? I feel the presence draw even further from me. I saw your person drop you. That must have hurt. The sadness deepens, but still nothing reaches out. I need to try a different approach. Hey, they're talking to you! We know your person was the one terrorizing the people at the plant shop, so speak up already! Sagwa, we don't know that. Shh, haven't you ever watched TV? Always start with an accusation. Before I can tell Sagwa that this is not TV, the connection clicks. Another feeling rises up behind the sadness. Anger. They didn't do anything! While anger seems to be overriding its reluctance to talk, I should probably use this moment to ask some questions. Your person seemed nervous even before they ran. Why was that? I don't know. I don't think it's being entirely truthful, but the feeling of uncertainty feels genuine. What do you know about the messages that were being sent to the people at the plant shop? Silence. But the fact that it doesn't ask what I'm talking about seems to indicate I'm on the right track. Then why did they run? More anger bubbles up. How should I know? Why did your person drop you? Sadness takes over the mix of emotions, welling up like tears threatening to spill. Why don't you ask them? They're asking you. These questions are going nowhere. I need to get through to it somehow. But do I press to get it to crack, or should I try to gain its trust? Try to gain its trust. I take a breath and send a feeling of comfort through the connection. It's obvious you really care about your person. I can't imagine how difficult this situation must be for you. The swirling emotions soften a bit, but there's still a general feeling of wariness. What's it to you how I feel? Most of Jay's tech was abandoned like you before they took them in. Helping tech is sort of their thing. I wasn't abandoned! Are you sure about that? I feel something break within it, the last bit of hope dying. They don't want me anymore, do they? The despair in its voice tugs at my heart. I don't know. They might be feeling a lot of things and taking it out on you, but it's not fair to you. I wish I knew how to help them. Have you tried asking them what they need? There's a slight feeling of confusion before it responds. How would I do that? Just like you're doing now. But they can't hear me. What? What? But that means the person isn't a techno-witch. So you didn't know anything about their plans or intentions? Not really. I know they wanted to make friends, but that's all. I still want to help you figure this out. Would you be willing to answer a few questions for me? I guess. First off, what should I call you? I feel weird not knowing your name. Name? They never gave me a name. I am feeling like I want to adopt a fucking smartphone. You can make one yourself if you want. Bubble! I try not to laugh, but its excitement is endearing. I don't have to wonder where it came up with that, as I look to see Bubbles floating nearby, a very excited child with a bubble wand. Okay then, Bubble. I take a breath, trying to think of the best thing to ask. I still can't shake the feeling that there's some sort of connection between this person and the case, but perhaps the connection's different than I thought. You said your person wanted to make friends. Can you tell me more about that? They don't really spend time with anyone. I don't think they have any friends at school. Did they specifically say they wanted friends? They said it must be nice when they saw a group of friends together. I assumed it from that. Did your person ever meet the people at the plant shop? No. I detect a note of deception in its tone. But you know the shop, don't you? You're the one who keeps mentioning a shop. Why do you assume I know anything about it? Because although I've brought it up several times, you've never once asked me what shop I'm referring to. If you didn't know what I was talking about, it seems odd that you wouldn't ask, doesn't it? I thought you agreed to answer my questions. We might have passed that shop before. I narrow my eyes, but try not to lose my patience with the phone. Is anyone other than your person able to use you? That is private information. And privacy is important to you? It is of the utmost importance that I do not compromise my person's privacy. So you wouldn't let anyone else look through their things, correct? Even if they had the passcode? Of course not! Then it seems to catch itself, and more anger rises to the surface. I mean, so your person's the only one who has access to the messages. Interesting. So this person definitely did it, right? I think back on everything, but something doesn't add up. Before I can relay this information to Sagwa, I look up to see the person looking at me with their phone in my hand. They look as though they're on the verge of running again. I wave to them and smile, gesturing to the phone as if to ask if it's theirs. They hesitate but begin to walk towards me. How exactly are you planning on keeping them here? Good question. This is your phone, right? They nod and hold out their hand. Yes, thank you. I make no move to hand them their phone. What's your name? They look up at me, eyebrows creasing in confusion. Jungwon. Hi, Jungwon. I'm Jay. Can we talk? I nod towards a nearby bench and head over to sit down. They hesitate before following. May I have my phone back, please? They seem nervous and not particularly good with confrontation. I need to get them to talk, but I don't want to push so hard that they run away. Look, I know this is strange, but I really need to talk to you. I take a breath, trying to choose my next words carefully. I've been investigating a series of strange messages that are being sent to people working at a particular plant shop. Their eyes go wide. I know the messages are coming from your phone. How? I'm a techno-witch. I'm not here to place blame. I just need to know what's happening and hopefully prevent it from happening in the future. I never said anything about messages! They tense up for a moment, but then they let out a breath in defeat. Here's your chance, Jay. Let him have it. Hey! But as I think back to my conversation with Bubble, I get the same nagging feeling I did before. You're right that they're being sent from my phone. But I honestly don't know how it's happening. See? I told you! Oh, come on. You think we're gonna believe that? I ignore them and focus my attention on Jungwon. What do you mean? I realized they were coming from my phone yesterday, and I've been trying to figure out how it's happening. I want to stop it. Please believe me. But you're the only one with access to your phone, right? They let out a breath, looking even more defeated than before. Right. They look up at me and hesitate before asking their question, barely raising their voice above a whisper. Do you think it's possible that I've been sending them without realizing it? I place Bubble back in their hands. I think you need to talk to your phone. But I can't. I can translate. You might not know what's going on, but it probably does. They look down at Bubble and gasp. Oh no, it's cracked. I didn't mean to hurt it. Well, you did. I translate, and this time Jungwon speaks to Bubble directly. I'm so sorry. I was so freaked out and didn't know what to do, but I shouldn't have dropped you. Bubble doesn't respond. I can still feel the hurt that pulses through the connection, but I think Jungwon speaking to it directly is a step in the right direction. Jungwon looks at me to see if I have anything to translate, but I shake my head. They sigh. I know this isn't the best time, but we really need to know about the messages. Can you ask? Jungwon bites their lip and nods, holding Bubble gingerly. Could you please tell us what you know about the messages? That is private information! Even to them? I switch to talking aloud to Bubble so that Jungwon can hear at least half the conversation. Does it know anything? If it does, it's not talking. I told you they didn't do it! Then who did? Silence. Actually, I think I'm starting to understand. Jungwon wanted to make friends, so... According to you, Jungwon was often alone and wanted to make friends. They'd see groups of people together and wish they had that for themselves. And presumably one day recently, they saw all the workers together at the plant shop, but they were nervous and didn't know how to talk to them, so... Bubble decided to intervene. No one else had access to the phone. You're adamant about protecting Jungwon's privacy and are very defensive about it. Since you wouldn't have granted anyone else access... Bubble is the only other being who could send the messages. Messages pinged while phones were on silent. The messages were able to make a notification sound even though the recipient's phones were silenced. It would take a great deal of knowledge or an aptitude for technocraft to do it, so... It must have been done by tech. Now I know the truth. I turn to Jungwon, since they're the one who needs to hear this the most. So this is what happened. Your phone knew that you wanted to make friends. And when you passed the plant shop one day, it must have noticed the workers there decided to make friends with them on your behalf. So it got access to all their phone numbers and started sending messages that they couldn't ignore. You said you realized it yesterday and that you wanted to stop it. So you did send one of the messages, didn't you? The I'm sorry one. The one that said I'm sorry. Jungwon's eyes widen and I continue. And today, when you heard the message ping Young-Soo's phone, you were so afraid that you were the one doing it that you dropped your phone and ran. But you weren't doing it. Your phone was trying to help you. It was just going about it all the wrong way. I look at Jungwon's face, seeing a mix of emotions I can't even begin to imagine cross over it. But the one that takes over first is disbelief. Is that even possible? Can phones act on their own like that? No, not usually. It would cause mass chaos if they could. But sometimes, if the will to help someone is strong enough, there have been cases where tech can sort of unlock and act on its own. My guess is that that's what's happened here too. The phone is silent, but it directs a sharp wave of anger at me, though there is a level of apprehension behind it as it waits for Jungwon's reaction. Are you okay? They shake their head. I have been afraid for my own sanity. I was called a stalker freak, and I've been on edge this entire time, going to bed and hardly sleeping, terrified that one of them will realize it's me. And you're telling me this was its way of helping? I open my mouth to respond, but the phone speaks up before I can, this time addressing Junwon directly. What were you doing? You complained and cried every day that you had no one, but you did nothing to fix it. At least I was trying. Oh dear gods. I'm sorry, fuck the romance. I don't give a shit. I just want to do couples counseling for people and their fucked up tech. This is great. I'm gonna soften the delivery. I'm gonna do Bubble a solid. I tell Jungwon about their phone's frustration, softening the harsh words but still conveying the main points. Jungwon starts addressing the phone directly. I understand if you were frustrated, but all those times I was talking to myself. I wasn't asking for help, and certainly not in the way you did it. And I am trying, even if it doesn't look like it to you. It takes a moment for the phone to respond, but it finally does in a smaller voice than before. I just didn't want you to be sad anymore. Jungwon softens a bit as I relay this message. Is there some way you can, I don't know, ask me next time? Your intentions might be good, but you can't just assume what I want. If we could talk, then maybe I could actually help you. I puzzle this over, wondering how many other cases there must be out there of tech unable to talk to their person and causing these sorts of problems. Maybe I can find a way for you guys to talk. Jungwon brightens. Really? I am studying to be a software engineer, and I really want to help tech and the relationship between tech and people. If I were to try to make something, would you be my beta tester? They both agree, and though I know I have a lot of work ahead of me, it gives me hope that one day I can bridge the gap between people and their tech. We sit a while longer, and they're both able to say a few more things to one another. There's still a bit of tension and a bit of hurt, but those are things only time and better communication can heal. Hey, so I didn't want to interrupt earlier, but the chicken's been getting old for a while now. My eyes widen. Oh no, Taejun and Duna. Chicken? Jungwon, who hasn't been able to hear this turn of conversation, looks at me curiously. Hey, would you want to hang out and have chicken with some of my friends? They look a bit startled and a bit nervous. I swear if they say no this time, I'm gonna do something even worse. Bubble, you are a fucking troll! I laugh and can't help but tell this to Jungwon, who thankfully laughs as well. They agree, and we stand up together, heading towards my friends in the last light of the setting sun. And this is probably the best place I could possibly choose to leave this, and it's probably the end of the demo anyway. But I'm running a little bit later than I usually do, and don't want to wait long to find out. Okay, I'm going to say this, and I'm probably going to say this often. These people have gone about their fucking promotional material on Steam entirely the wrong way. See, I don't give two shits about the romance bit now. Like, not at all. I picked kind of at random. I don't really want to romance any of the people that I've been introduced to. I just want to do this. I want to run around solving communication issues between people and their technology. This is the game I want, but this is not the game they told me I was getting. So I'm getting a really nice surprise. I mean, I was not expecting that. I was expecting your usual Otome bullshit. This isn't just Otome bullshit. This is actually solving mysteries and some absolute hilarity because, come on, we all do this with our tech. We all wish our tech could talk to us. Okay, most of our tech doesn't wind up being, like, stalker freaky and making us question our sanity for that reason. Anyway, yeah, no, I'm sorry. My brain went down an AI track, and I don't even want to think about it right now. But yeah, no, see, this is the game I want. I want them to pitch this game so much differently because, seriously, I mean, the art is just so K-pop cutesy. It's kind of like chibi K-pop. That's what I'm looking for. It's chibi K-pop. effectively. Which, okay, fine, it's a look. I don't mind the look, but it suggests a certain tone to the proceedings, and the tone that the proceedings had is not the tone I just got. And I like it. I like that the romance is sidelined. I like that the romance takes a firm back seat. I don't like that they're pitching it as romance first, everything else kind of second. But, you know, maybe they're just trying to... If they're trying to draw in the otome novel crowd, the otome novel crowd might be disappointed in this game when they get into it. Me? I loved it. It was great. Yeah, no, this was a surprise. A very pleasant surprise, but a surprise nonetheless. Because, like I say, I really was not expecting that much of this. But it's the story elements for me. I mean, of course it's the story elements for me. It's me. Anyway, this one's release date is coming soon. So I figure the demo will be around for a while. Which means that if you like the look at this, but wanted to try options I didn't, like, you know, say that Jung-won was doing it by accident themselves somehow, or whatever, yeah, maybe download the demo and give it a shot. Remember, my opinion is not the be-all and end-all, and sometimes the feel of playing a game and the choices you make can make or break your enjoyment, so try before you buy wherever possible. For those who like a text-based and digression-free review, that'll be up on my Ko-fi page shortly. Never a paywall, I do it for the love of the games, but maybe toss some folks in my general direction if you like what I do. I like the company. The review will have the embedded VOD, which will also be on YouTube to join my gallery of epic, ridiculous, and more than occasionally profane flail, in case you joined late or just fancy coming back to it later. Oh, anyway, after giving it some thought, because, to be fair, I didn't have a whole lot of thoughts to give, because, again, my spoons have been minimal, I went through my copious unplayed games collection on Steam for Sunday's TGIF thing coming up. I thought I'd pick up The Mask of the Rose by Fail Better Games. After all, the Eldritch-adjacent romance visual novel seems to be my niche, and I'm pretty sure a friend of mine threw that one at my head for some gift-giving holiday or other these many moons ago. I'm guessing Noms, but I'm known to be wrong. Anyway, it's probably well past the time I actually gave it some attention. Besides, it's fall in London, and I should be getting my hard copy of the TTRPG that I backed on Kickstarter a while back. And it's been a while since I played the online game. By which I mean it should be fun refamiliarizing myself with fall in London. So I hope to see you there. Until then, or until next, have a good one.